All right, so I'm going to talk to you about influence and having an open mind, okay? And stick around to the end because if this is you and you have this mindset, then maybe this video can help you grow in a way and kind of see what it is that you've been thinking your whole life that has caused you to live the life that you live at the moment, right? So, having an open mind, right? Here is the extremes, right? There's someone with an extremely closed mind. There's someone with an open mind, completely open mind, right? They're like Play-Doh. They're like a feather in the wind. Wherever life decides it wants to take them, then they go that way. If life wants to mold them into this, if this person wants to mold them into that, they allow influence from anything, right? They might have an opinion on something, and if someone says something else, now their opinion is that. And if they have an opinion on this, and someone else says, hey, that's wrong, now they have an opinion on that. Now they're on that side, right? And this is not a good side to be on, and neither is having a closed mind, right? Because if you have a fully closed mind, understand this: you're hindering yourself from growing because there's so much potential, there's so much more that you could know. However, you're stopping yourself from allowing people to influence you, and being influenced is not necessarily a bad thing. And I'm going to explain to you why. Because, for example, if you have a closed mind, there's nothing wrong. Personally, I don't think there's nothing wrong with having a closed mind to certain things, right? Like, for example, my mind is closed. There's two gender. My mind is closed that the man should provide, the woman should take care of her man in a emotional way. You know, she should be his piece. That's pretty much what I think, and there's nothing that you will ever say that will change my mindset and will say, you as the man, you should let her pay, you should go 50-50, and you should stay home and cook and clean, and she can go out there, she can grab her dildo and fuck you in the ass. You will never change my mind on that, okay? So some things, I believe that having a closed mind to it's up to personal preference, right? But for example, closed mind versus a completely open mind, you want to be somewhere in the middle, right? For example, myself, I have an open mind. I am willing to take in influence from other people. However, here's the thing: you got to take everything with a grain of salt. You have to tell yourself, I am strong enough, right? Because when you have a closed mind, this is your belief. I won't let anyone else tell me anything. That's a defense mechanism, right? And for the most part, a defense mechanism will save you from whatever pain it is you're trying to avoid. However, it'll also hinder you from growing. So, like myself, you got to have the mindset to where you can tell yourself, I'm strong enough individual. I'm a strong-willed individual to if something if something does not suit me, if something does not benefit my life, if something does not add value to my life, I can reject it. That's it. Goodbye. Right? So you got to be able to have an open mind to the point where you can take in ideas, you can have this filter of logic in your mind, you pass it through the filter, and if it logically makes sense, and you say, okay, I've been living this way, however, I just got this idea, I filtered it through my brain, through my logic filter, and it checks out. I'm willing to tell myself, let me try this out one day, right? Let me take it with a grain of salt, but let me just try it out one day. Let's see how this goes. For example, like let's say you've been living your whole life saying, "Oh no, if I'm fat, I'm just fat because I'm fat. I don't have to be in a calorie deficit." And then you never let anyone tell you otherwise, then you're going to stay the way you are. However, if you let someone tell you, "Hey man, you got to be in a calorie deficit," and you say you have an open mind and you're willing to just think about it, not an open mind to the point where you say, okay, you're right, yeah, yeah, yeah. Because at that point, you're gonna get influenced to do whatever the fuck they say. The government is gonna influence you and say, that right there, that man right there, he's a woman. That man is a woman. Even though he has a penis, he's a woman. And you're gonna be like Plato. You're gonna say, "Oh yeah, he's a woman." That I guess so. I guess you can identify as a million different genders. I guess you can be shrimp fried rice if you want. I identify as shrimp fried rice. No. Okay, you got to be in the middle. So like I said, the analogy as far as You being fat, you having a closed mind. However, now you have an open mind and you're willing to pass it through the filter of logic. Now you take this idea, okay, let me see if maybe I do need to be in a calorie deficit. Maybe what I've thought my whole life is not accurate. Maybe all my life I've just, I've been programmed by other people. So let me go ahead and see. Okay, let me try it one day. If it doesn't work, I'll reject it. But other than that, I'm going to take it in, pause. I'm going to take it in. I'm going to filter it through my brain. I'm going to examine it. I'm going to look at the idea. I'm going to break it apart. And I'm going to see if it's valuable for me, right? So, okay, let's do it. Let me go on a calorie deficit. Oh, shit. I just lost a couple pounds. Maybe that's right. Let me try it again. Oh, even more. This is the right way. I've been living wrong this whole time. That's what having an open mind is all about, right? You don't want to have an open mind to where you're completely swayed on your opinions. You have to have your opinions, but you also have to be willing to let people challenge them so that you can grow. Because a prime example of this is children, right? I'm watching the UFC fight right here, the Paulo Costa and Sean Strickland. But the prime example of this is children, okay? So a child, for the most part, right now, your beliefs, whatever it is that you as an adult believe all your life, I'm willing to bet that 99% of it was you as a child being programmed. Because, like I said, there's a closed mind, there's an open mind who's willing to filter it out through a filter, and then there's the completely open mind who's just swayed, can be programmed by anyone, and does not have any real firm opinion, does not stand on anything, does not have any values that you stick to, and no matter what, you will stick by this. So children are a main example of this, right? Because 99% of the beliefs that you believe are because your parents told you. And as a kid, your mind is open. That's why it's so dangerous for these pedophiles to do things with kids, right? I don't know if YouTube allows to say that word, but right, those guys can influence a child because their mind is open. So it's dangerous. And it's also the reason why you believe what you believe, because your parents told you something, your mind is completely open to whatever programming is installed, and so your parents told you this is the way. And all your life you were influenced through that, and your mind was so open to the point where you didn't have your own opinion, and so you said, okay, this is the way. But at some certain point, you have to start thinking, did I receive that programming into my life at a point where I was capable enough to understand it, capable enough to break it down, capable enough to take a look at it, examine it, and see, is this what I want to do with my life? Right? Because 9 times out of 10, if you don't do that, you're going to live a life and you're not going to really know why you're living how you're living. It's not until you can actually have a mind where you can examine your thoughts and your beliefs and your programming, and you can insert it through the filter and ask yourself, okay, let me go ahead and rethink all of my beliefs and let me pass them through this filter. And then you should go ahead and reprogram your mind and take what's good and reject what's bad. Whatever's bad, you let go of it. Whatever's good, you stay with it, right? But that's what keeping an open mind is about, okay? So make sure you keep your mind open. Make sure you open your mind to the possibility that your beliefs might not be the right way to live, the most beneficial way to live, the most valuable way for you to live. But you don't want to have that closed mind. You don't want to be that person who is a complete imbecile and won't let anyone tell them anything they're right when they're completely in the wrong. But like I said, there's certain things that you just can't change my mind on. Like, you could never change my mind. Even though I'm someone who has an open mind and is willing to challenge my beliefs with other people and listen and filter it through my brain and see if this is the best way possible, I also have those beliefs that are solid. I stand on it my whole life. I will never change it. And that's just who I am. And maybe you're like that too. But sometimes you really just got to ask yourself, is this based in reality? Because what I believe is that I have a closed mind because it's based in reality. I'm a realistic person. And if it does not base itself in reality, then why would I change it, right? Because anything else is just a facade. Anything that someone tells you, oh no, that man, he's a woman. Now you're not thinking about reality. Now you're opening your mind. However, you're opening your mind to the possibility that your eyes are deceiving you. You're opening your mind to the possibility that what you're seeing is not reality, but what this person is telling you is reality. And that's what I call manipulation, all right? So, like the video, comment down below, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think. Do you have a closed mind? Did you start to notice while you're watching this video that 99% of the beliefs that you have are not your beliefs? They were installed into you? Let me know what you think down below. Peace out.